Good morning, 9th and O, and thank you for joining us for another Devotionable, Brief Devotions for Busy People. I'm Peter Holmes, and today we're going to be looking at Psalm 46 as we continue this journey through the book of Psalms. Psalm 46 is one of my favorite passages. I absolutely love it, and it's something that has been close to me in times of trouble, as we'll see here with the psalmist, as he mentions it as well. Back in 2008, I was a freshman in college, and the Southern Baptist University that I went to was hit by a tornado, causing millions of dollars worth of damage. And I remember going to class several weeks afterwards, after we were finally able to go back to campus, and sitting in Old Testament intro, when Dr. Kelvin Moore, a gentleman from Alabama, said, "We are going to not use your textbooks anymore for the rest of the semester. Pull them out for those of you who still have them and get rid of them. The only textbook we're going to have is the Bible, the Old Testament." And so we opened it up, and he said, "I want to open up a passage of Psalm 46. And up until that point, even though I grew up in a Christian home and was a believer and went to church anytime the doors were open, I don't think I had ever heard Psalm 46. And I definitely didn't hear it the way that I heard it that day. And so I want to start by reading Psalm 46 for us, and then just talk about a few key points in this passage. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolations to the earth. He makes war cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. God is our refuge and strength. It's such a beautiful illustration for us. When we think of the word refuge, we think of a safe place, a haven, a place that we feel nothing can happen to us. And a refuge is a place of protection from all the trouble. But this refuge that the psalmist is talking about is not a physical place that will one day be destroyed or in one day will end. No, God, who is eternal and will never cease to reign, is our refuge and strength. The God who is over all things is our refuge. Not only is he our refuge and gives us strength, but he is also a very present help in a time of trouble. He does not leave us. He is right there with us when the world feels like it is falling apart, and when we are in danger. He is present and he is with us. I don't know about you, but that is a wonderful comfort. God is with us and he protects us. Therefore, we will not be afraid. Because God is our refuge, because he is always present, we will not be afraid. We will not fear because we are with God. The psalmist goes on to mention several different types of natural disasters. In fact, this weekend we've kind of dealt with our own, with tornadoes and flooding. And he's talking about these natural disasters that normally we would be afraid of, but because God is our refuge and our strength, we will not fear. Earthquakes and landslides and stormy seas, we do not fear because God is our strength. and is in control of all things. When things like mountains that are normally stable begin quaking, we turn to God, our refuge and strength. As humans, the worst thing that can happen to us is death. But as believers, the best thing that can happen to us is death, because we will be with Him for eternity. There is a river. More than likely, this is not a physical river, but a picture of God's presence and blessings that fill Jerusalem and flows to other nations. The psalmist is contrasting verses 2 and 3 with verses 4 and 5. The waters roar and they foam. The river flows and its streams delight the city of God. And the mountains quake, but the city of God will not be toppled. Why? Because God is our refuge and strength. The psalmist switches from natural disasters to warring nations. Nations are going to wage war and kingdoms are going to topple. Look throughout history and just see how many nations rise up and then fall. There are countless examples of this happening. There is one who can make the wars stop. God, our refuge and strength. Stop fighting and know that I am God. He is over all weapons and all armies. We do not have to fear from natural disasters, and we don't fear war and nations and rulers, because God is our strength and stronghold. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Do not fear, because He is our fortress and our stronghold. He cannot be overthrown or destroyed, and as believers, He has us. He protects us. And as the psalmist ends, one day He will be exalted on all the earth by all the nations.